All right, hello. Today, we are going to build on top of our last project, which we used RooCode to generate an Arduino project, or a piece of code that's going to run on our Arduino. Today, we're actually going to push that out there and run it on the board. We wrote tests, we got it into a GitHub repository, all this stuff, got that. We didn't actually put it on hardware, which I think it only matters if it works on hardware. So let's figure out, let's see what happens. All right, so my name is Ryan Torvik with Tulip Tree Tech, and this is our leaf. All right, so today we're going to use RooCode again. We're going to interface with Claude. We're going to use RooCode, Anthropic's Claude Sonnet. Let's see what else we've done. We've actually used it enough now, so our free tier's over. So I'm using tier 1, so we'll see how that goes. And then we're gonna take the code we wrote for our Arduino project, and we're gonna actually put it on the board. And then I'm gonna do very little. I'm gonna ask the RooCode to do it all. We'll see how that goes. Boop. All right, so here we go. So here is our hardware. We got our little Elegoo Uno R3 over here, and then we've got some pins and needles and whatever else. There's a light here that's got 3 different wires running to it. And then those wires go over here. And then this wire goes here. You can see, I love these things. These are great. Wait, where is that? Where does that go to? Okay, that goes there, that goes there. That goes here. Make sure that's plugged in all the way. All right, so we've got ground and power. We got things connected to the ground and power. Then we got things connected back to the actual Elegoo board itself. Okay, so we got a button. And the project that we put together was like, I press the button and then it makes different colors happen over here on the light. Over here on the light. So we got the button and then press, and the light changes colors as it goes through. Okay, here we go. So this is the code that it generated. It has the whole thing, state cycler. I don't know, there's a library here, state cycler source, cpp.h file. There's a readme, I don't think it did anything, library.json, main. It's got my test state cycler over here that does run tests. We kind of step through this to make sure that the tests were right, but we didn't really look at the code, which is fine. All right, so we're going to go here in our RooCode, and I'm going to say I want to, let's just flash this out. So let's see, let's pick a mode. What are the different modes for? All right, so the user is asking different modes about RooCode based on the information provided. In the mode section of my instructions, I can explain the purpose of each mode. Code is for software engineering tasks. Programming languages, frameworks, design patterns, and best practices. Architect is for technical leadership. What? Planning and inquisitive analysis of products. Okay, there's AST for answering questions, providing information about software development. Debug mode for systematic problem diagnosis and resolution. Okay. And orchestrator is for coordinating complex tasks by delegating them to appropriated specialized modes. Let's see. Software engineer. Writing code, implementing features, making changes to existing code bases. Okay, troubleshooting and fixing issues in code. All right, ask mode is this way. Interesting. All right, so I'm going to go to ask. All right, so how do I push my project onto my hardware? So how do I push my project onto my hardware so I can test it? Now, there's an interesting little button over here called Enhance Prompt with Additional Context. So I'm going to click on the prompt with additional context, see what it says. How do I deploy my project into physical hardware for testing? Please include details about my development environment, type of hardware I'm using, any specific frameworks or tools involved, and what I've already attempted. All right, well, let's see what happens. Platformio project, state cycler, wants to read, okay. Native, all right, so the Arduino Uno is, okay, so that's got the board Uno framework. There's also a native environment. This is likely for running tests on the developed machine rather than on the target hardware. Uses the Unity testing framework. Let's look at main.cpp. Okay. So I have a better understanding of the project. Button is connected to pin 9. Cycle through different states, 10, 11, and 12 based on the current state. State cycler, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Comprehensive there. right, it is an Arduino project targeting the Uno board. State cycler, the cycler is 7 different states with 3 output pins. The button is used to trigger state transitions. The states are defined there. Project includes unit tests, GitHub workflows, and is managed using Platformio. Oh, gave me a circuit diagram. Is that telling me how to build it? Because that is kind of how I built it. 220s. I mean, I'm not really good at colors or small things anymore. But that looks like that's what it is doing. And then it's the button has got one pin to and another pin to ground. What? Interesting. Okay. Connect your hardware. All right, so I don't have the platform IO ID. Oh, I could do that. Here, let's just run this. The Platformio. All right, so I'm going to plug in my hardware here. Boop. Okay, now it's got lights on it. And I'm going to just say run it. Custom upload port, nah. Okay, so it says run. All right, so we're just going to click on bash. And is there a button? What is that? Enable word wrap. No, I don't need to do that. Whoa. Whoa. And that's the completion of the task. That is a lot of information. Port not found, upload fails, advanced testing. All right, so start a new task. I'm going to say code. I'm going to say, please push my project onto my hardware. A standard command is this, platform PIO run -t upload. Okay. Okay, run command. Oh, PIO's, oh, that's right. All right, so what we're going to say is Platformio is installed in /.platform. Look. So Platformio is installed in /.platformio. Look for PIO in that directory. All right, so there it goes. So now it's going to, okay, Platformio, PV, blah, 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 blah. All right, run command. Okay, the error is because update outputs function is called in setup before it's declared. Now, this is where I've seen this stuff struggle, is where it's got to resolve. So what did you do? Okay, so it is moving it. All right, save, checkpoint. Okay, don't run that yet. Let me go see what you did. So there's setup, and there's update outputs. Oh, okay, so all it did was move the setup down. Okay, that seems fine. Let's go back and say run command. And it's writing success. The light is on. Test the hardware. Okay. And it's giving me some stuff. All right, so here we go. Ready? Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Okay, so that's good. Let's look at our hardware configuration. And, oh, I have told it to do it wrong. It has told me several times connecting LED pins to 10, 11, and 12, and connecting a push button to pin 9 with a pull-up resistor. So that's what we've done. No, we haven't. We have connected the button to pin 3, and then we've connected the LEDs to 9, 10, and 11. So let's start a new task, and we'll say, I need to, all right, please readjust the pins for this project. The button is attached to pin 3, and the LEDs are attached to pins 9, 10, and 11. Let's just click on add more additional context to see what that does for us. Create a circuit diagram. Nope. I don't want you to create a circuit diagram. I want you to code it. Nope. Okay, can I undo that? How do I undo that? Undo. That didn't do anything. All right, so I don't want to create a circuit diagram. Update this project. My button is attached to pin 3. The LEDs are attached to pins 9, 10, and 11. I'm just going to leave it to it. Let's analyze the task. First, let's check the current content of main, see how the pins are currently configured. According to the user's request, I need to update these pin assignments. Change to 3, and then 9, 10, and 11. Okay, doesn't have any hard-coded pin references. It's designed to be hardware independent, as mentioned in the comments. Let me also check. Oh, super good. I found an issue. The comments in the state table that's just the comments, which no longer match our thing. So, oh, interesting. But that was just a comment. It updated the comment for me? Okay. Also contains references of old pin numbers in both the expected states array and the test assertions. These comments should update to reflect the new pin configuration. The actual logic doesn't depend on the specific pin since it uses 0, 1, and 2 to reference the pins, but the comments should be updated to avoid confusion. What? What? Okay, I've checked the relevant files and updated. So change pin 9 to 3, 10, 11, 12 to 9, 10, 11. Okay. Let's do this one again. And then I'd like to rerun this. How do I tell it to rerun this? Let's see what happens when I do, what is this? Restores your project files back to the snapshot. No, I don't want to do that. Okay, so maybe later. They've fixed it. Like everything's fixed. I just want to rerun this command. All right. Please push my project to my hardware. Okay. So please push my project to my hardware. Platform was installed here. Look for PO in that directory. Okay, run command. There it goes. Successfully flashed. Okay, that looks like it's a color. Cycle through, okay, 7 different states. Okay, so there's one. Okay, that didn't do it. A lot of pressing going on and nothing happening. Interesting. All right, new task. Okay, so I flashed my board with my project. When I press the button that is attached to pin 3, the LEDs do not change. So let's do debug and run this. Okay, so it's reading through files. This is interesting that I see that because it doesn't store the state. Every time it starts a new task, kind of throws out its understanding of the state. So it's got to go and re-examine the state. The hardware might not be properly connected to pin 3. LEDs not be properly connected to pin 9, 10, and 11. There might be missing or incorrect pull-up, pull-down resistors. The button might be faulty or have poor contact. Okay. The debounce logic in the code might not be working correctly. The debounce delay might be too long or too short. Bugs in the implementation, pig configurations, serial communication issues. Baud rate might be incorrect. Power issues, okay. Hardware connection, button debouncing, pin configuration, code logic. All right, so what did you just do? Okay. Now that I've added diagnostic logging to the code, we need to compile and upload it to the board. Uh-oh. Okay. What do you see in the serial monitor when you press the button? Where's the serial monitor? Let's see, remote. Hold on, where's the serial monitor? Please open the serial monitor in your Platformio IDE. All right, let me look over here. Where's my serial monitor? Platform, advanced, task, pre-join. Is it here? Miscellaneous, rebuild, upgrade, remote. All right, so how do I open the serial monitor? Okay. Okay. Oh, we can just run this command. All right, so run this command. Okay, so if I press, okay, and I'll kill command now. All right. The button state is being detected and changing between high and low when the user presses it. What? This suggests that the button debouncing logic is working. It's detecting state changes, but the condition to detect a valid button press in advance of state is not being met. Let's look at the part of the code again. If milliseconds, blah, 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 button press detected advancing state. The issue might be that the condition, reading low, is never true. This could happen with the last button state. Okay, wants to read, edit. All right, we're going to run this command again. So it updated. All right, and we're going to run the device monitor again. Hi. Oh, it changed. Oh, it changed. Oh. 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Holy. Oh, sorry. Holy sh. Kill command. Great. The serial monitor output shows that our changes fixed the button detection issue. Now we can see blah, blah, blah. Button changes low. Are the LEDs changing? If not, let's check the hardware. The LEDs are now working. The problem is fixed. Let's see the issues. The button and then the original code was something like this. Now we fixed it by introducing a stable button state variable that only changes when the button state has been stable for the debounce period. What was the problem? The code was checking if reading is low and last button state is high. How we fixed it. Track a separate stable button state variable that only changes when the button state. Oh my gosh. Okay. Now, the thing it didn't do, fix maintains the real functionality. Okay, can you please, and I'm like, ugh. Okay, please remove the debug print statements. Yes. Okay. Okay, so remove them from main. What's errors about unit related to the test files? Okay. Okay. Still works. All right, hold on. Let's see. Because it updated this thing too. All right. And then let's say, please run the native tests. And I'm doing it in this task still because I want it to keep the context that it's developed. I don't want it to have to go reread the platform.io and whatever else files in order to do this. Okay, run commands. Everything passed. Great. Okay, start new task. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to what's changed in this one? Is that just new? I don't know. Okay. State cycler, so that's changed. Package.json. Okay, so added, okay. Oh, wow, we didn't add those last time. All right, so let's use our, let's see, what were the file names in here? Scripts. All right, so please use our createpr.js script to create a new branch, commit our code with a meaningful comment, push the new branch to the repo, create a new pull request, and auto merge the pull request when the tests pass. Well, I should say GitHub Actions pass. Update the create your script doesn't update the create PR script if it doesn't do all of these things. Okay, and actually I'm going to click this button to do with additional context. Okay, please use our this, commit our code, blah, 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 blah. If the script doesn't currently support all these features, branch creation, committing, pushing, PR creation, automatic merge functionality, please update it to include missing capabilities. Ensure the commit message clearly describes the changes made and their purpose. So I'm going to switch this to orchestrator mode and go. Okay, first let's read to insert the current capabilities. Branch creation, okay, new subtask in code mode. Okay, so it's determined that it doesn't create a branch, doesn't commit the code, and doesn't push the branch. Okay, but it does already create a pull request and enables auto merge. Okay, now I have a complete understanding of the GitHub workflow. Okay, so now it's updating. Okay, let's close this. I'm gonna create pr.js. One of the things that I have noticed about this is that if you interrupt it, it's like it does not handle that very well. All right. So it's edited the file. There are duplicate js.comments for that. So it's going to fix those issues. Create pr.js. Okay. Wow. So it's got different modes, got different usages. Really? Branch, message, title, body, target, skip commit. Holy cow. Show help. All right. Based on these requirements, I need to create a new branch. Roo wants to read this. Okay. Package.json. All right. Okay. So I put the GitHub token in my environment, and please do it. Okay. So it's going to say enhanced PR script. Merge conflict between base and head. Created and checked out. Task complete. Okay, pull request creation completed successfully, but I may need to auto merge manually in the GitHub UI because it said there's a merge conflict between base and head. All right, so let me go over there. This is going to keep running. So I'm going to go hop over there. All right, so we're over here. Enhanced PR script with auto merge capability. What's the problem? This branch has conflicts that must be resolved. Oh, interesting. What did it try to commit? Oh, it changed 19 files. Woo! Added a git ignore. Well, these weren't in here before? Look at the code. Oh, we never committed? No, we committed these. Build, test. Oh, so we need to resolve these conflicts. Okay, so I'm gonna have to go through this again. So we'll go back. So what happened was I went up here and I said, hey, I want to resolve the merge conflicts. And I set it into the orchestrator mode. And then what it did was it kicked off a code mode to determine the current branch, check the status of the to see what conflict exists, resolve those conflicts, and then stage and commit the resolved conflict. So shows current branch. Hey, it says feature enhanced PR script. Okay, get status. Okay, it wanted to run this. It wanted to make sure there wasn't an existing merge conflict, and so there wasn't. So it was going to merge, and I don't like merges. I like to rebase. So I said, please rebase instead of merge. So that's what it did. So it said rebase, and then I said, well, should we make sure that main is up to date with the main in the GitHub repo? And it says, you're absolutely right. So then it goes to git fetch origin, checks out main, sees that this README is not, it needs to be handled before switching branches, so it does a stash, check out main, git pull origin main. Then, now that the main's been updated, then it's going to check out the feature, the branch we did before, and notice that there's an untracked file in there because there was some sort of conflict when it tried to change branches. So then it copied it to another directory in case we need it later. And then we switch back to the branch, so that works. Then we rebase main, that worked just fine. Git stash apply, okay, that brought the README back. I didn't do any of this. RooCode did all this. So then it wants to read this file, okay, to make sure, okay, so there's some diffs. We saw the diffs, there it is. So then it says, oh, okay, this is what it did. So then it added that directory, that there, to the commit message, and then it added a commit message. So now it's committed that. Now it says get status, and it's trying to figure out, like, okay, we need to actually push our branch now, but since we rebased it, we have to force push it. We can't just whatever. So so because it's been updated, it said, oh, okay, get push force with least origin. Okay, so we're gonna run that command, forced update, and there's that. Okay, get status. It's fine. Now let's go back. Oh, and restore what we moved earlier. Rebased. Here's the summary. Task complete. Blomp, 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 blomp. Okay, now let's hop back over here. Okay, so over here, some checks have been completed. It's automatically running my pull request test. We can click on this to see it's running my Platformio test, native, there it goes, passed. Go back. Okay, and as it pointed out earlier, there were conflicts, so it did not give me the opportunity to auto merge. So I'm gonna have to do it myself. So I'm gonna say rebase and merge, confirm rebase and merge. All done. So that's it. That's RooCode. You're not surprised yet, are you? Are you surprised? Come on, this stuff that's how it works now. So I'm surprised. Maybe you're not surprised, but I'm definitely surprised. So it did a lot of things that I was like, oh right, I should do that. Oh right, I should think about that. Like, you know, even the git stuff, like, oh, I should think about. I know the force, but like I happen to know a lot of those commands because I've done this for way too many years. But it did it for me. You know, it took care of those for me and it knew to do it. And it's like, oh, remember, I stashed this. I'm going to pull it back. Oh, I copied this file over. Now I pulled it back. So it took care of those temporary steps, and then cleaned up after itself, which is like, okay. When it changed the pin numbers, it went and looked for comments and it looked for other places where those pin numbers were referenced. And it was like, oh, let me go update this comments for you. I would have done that. I'm lazy. I go I change this one file. I run the compile. I'm out. I'm out. But no, it did a lot more than I thought it was going to do. So that's it. That's it for today. Get down there, smash them like and subscribe buttons, and leave some comments in there too if you like. But for now, I'm Ryan Torvik. This has been Talking with a Leaf. We'll see you next time.